It is well known throughout the industry that retailers lose about 1.5% of their revenue to theft. Okay, that translates into billions of dollars. For a company like Target, it's about $500 billion a year that's lost to theft, right? And if you can use AI to prevent that theft and reduce it, you're going to be able to help that retailer save billions of dollars.
Hey everyone, welcome to AI Trends with Ash. This is Ash Bala, your host. Join me in this series as I chat with industry experts, thought leaders, and professionals to gain insights on how AI is shaping the future of work. Whether you're a high schooler curious about AI in any industry, or a working professional looking to gain more knowledge, this series has something for you. Today's episode will be an inspiring journey into the world of AI and retail. Our very special guest is a trailblazer in the realm of AI. She is a visionary leader shaping the landscapes of retail, consumer packaged goods, or CPG, and quick service restaurants, or QSR. It is my honor to welcome to the show Azita Martin, the Vice President and General Manager of AI for Retail at NVIDIA. For the last 5 years, Ms. Martin has been leading AI in the spaces of retail, CPG, and QSR, aiming at improving operational efficiencies and driving revenue through better customer experience. At NVIDIA, Ms. Martin is leading the global go-to-market strategy and AI solutions for retail and CPG. In this capacity, she also advises senior executives on harnessing AI to enhance operations and discover new revenue streams. She also plays a pivotal role in building an ecosystem of AI solutions, empowering retailers to gain a more competitive edge. Her journey started as an aerospace engineer at McDonnell Douglas, to management consulting and leadership positions at technology companies such as Siebel, Salesforce, and now NVIDIA. In her role, Azita advises Fortune 500 companies on the best use cases of AI that drive business values. Her expertise in transforming data to actionable insights and her commitment to responsible AI adoption shines through the ever-evolving AI landscape. Join us in today's episode as we delve deep into her journey, insights, and visions for the future of AI across industries. If you've ever wondered how AI is reshaping the way we shop, the way we experience brands, and the way retailers operate, this episode is for you. Without further ado, Ms. Martin, thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule and joining me today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ish. It's great to be here. And hello, everyone, especially those of you who are in high school at Pali and other places, because I live very close by. My son actually went to Menlo Atherton High School. So glad to be here, Aish.
Amazing. Thank you for coming. So before I move on to the questions, could you tell us a bit about your career path that led you to your current role?
So Aish, I think you kind of gave a pretty good summary of my career path. Though I will say to all of you that what you do in your first job out of school doesn't define where you're going to end. Obviously, some of us have a very clear understanding of where we want to be, and we'll do everything to ultimately get to the goal. But there are often times you take some zigzags along the way that is going to help you better understand what your passion is and what you love to do. So I didn't graduate from college with an aerospace engineering degree thinking I want to work at NVIDIA and I'm going to be in AI. You know, it's taken 30 years to get to where I am. And along the way, lots of successes and lots of bumps. And the most important thing is for us to learn from the bumps on the road and ultimately take that learning and turn that into what the best career path is. So I started as an aerospace engineer, loved what I was doing, did that for 7 years, went to grad school. From there, went to management consulting. And that management consulting got me into high tech. But one thing that I've learned in this journey is that the world and technology in particular changes so rapidly. And the most important thing to always remember is you're never an expert. You always have to continue learning. So make sure that you remember that it's important that you're always learning because technology evolves really, really fast.
That's amazing advice. Thank you for that. I think it's important that high schoolers, especially, know that it's important to change your thinking and be adaptable and flexible to things that might change along your path. But it's okay because it could lead to more and better things. So thank you for that. Could you describe retail, CPG, and QSR to our high school audience?
Yeah, so we all shop. So I think we all know what retail is. I think particularly when it comes to AI, we work with a lot of large supermarkets and mass merchants, helping them deal with issues like theft, which is a massive industry issue, as well as supply chain and operations, especially around their distribution centers and delivery of products to their stores and delivery of products to the customers. Consumer packaged good are companies that build the products that mass merchant and retailers sell. And so those are, Tide and detergents and drinks and all the kind of, packaged foods that consumer packaged companies like PepsiCo or Coca-Cola or Procter and Gamble deliver to the retailers that are sold in the stores. And quick service restaurants are basically fast food. And those are companies that we go and get fast food from.
Of course. Thank you for that. And I like how you associated the really, I would say, like complicated terms to more like places that high schoolers are more familiar with, like Coca-Cola, fast food places. So thank you for that. As a follow-up, what excites you most in each of these categories?
Well, I think that these are mostly companies, particularly retailers, that have very, very low margins. And so being able to even achieve 1% efficiency in operations translates into billions of dollars of cost savings, and it really impacts the bottom line. So again, I want to give you an example. It is well known throughout the industry that retailers lose about 1.5% of their revenue to theft. Okay, that translates into billions of dollars. For a company like Target, it's about $500 billion a year that's lost to theft, right? And if you can use AI to prevent that theft and reduce it, you're going to be able to help that retailer save billions of dollars. Okay. So I think that's super, super important. And so I think that's what gets me excited, that there's technology out there powered by AI that really enables these companies to achieve efficiencies or be able to understand their customers better and offer better personalization. So I am sure every single one of you knows ChatGPT, right? And ChatGPT just shed a light to what generative AI is. And generative AI has been around now for several years. It's really training a large language model on data that can then answer your questions. It just happens to be that ChatGPT was developed on everything on the internet and can answer a lot of questions that normal people have. Well, you can actually use generative AI, and ChatGPT is a form of generative AI using large language models. ChatGPT, or generative AI, basically can be used to actually provide personalized product recommendations to consumers. So if I'm on the website trying to buy a product, let's say I'm a woman, makeup, right? You can actually use generative AI, and I'm logged in. So now it knows it's Azita, and, I like these kind of colors, and my skin type is dry, and I need a lot of moisturizers. it can actually now recommend the best products based on the questions that I'm asking, right? Like, you know, you know, I'm feeling my skin is really tired. What product do you recommend? It already knows who I am. It already know why, because it's, retailers use data analytics and AI to segment their customers, to better understand their shopping behavior, their preferences, and then use generative AI as a way to do product recommendation on their e-commerce site. We call that like a product advisor. So that's what excites me about the power of generative AI and how it can help retailers.
That's amazing points. I think it's really important that AI can like help people personally, like with their like hobbies and what they like, and it can like show them to paths that they can buy, like you said, makeup or like sports. I think that's really cool. High school is the time when students strive to narrow on the career they'd like to pursue. Generally, what advice would you give to high schoolers interested in a career like yours?
I would just say if you're interested in technology, technology is dramatically changing and it is being changed by AI. I highly recommend, even if you want to go study business, if you want to go study art, play around with some of these generative AI solutions out there. You can, use Chat GPT, but most importantly, you can subscribe to GPT-4 and try some of that and really test some of the things that you're interested in and figure out how it can help you. I think the most important thing about AI is supposed to be our friend, our assistant, that it's going to go and do some of the cumbersome work that would take us hours and days to do. And so my recommendation is try to take an introduction to Python in high school and try to understand that. I know that in high school you have tremendous amount of pressure to get straight A's so you can get to the college that you want to get into. But I will tell you that it is one of the best courses that you can take is a simple introduction to Python programming so that it gives you an idea of what that is and enables you to learn a little bit about technology. So right now, most colleges offer dual degrees in business and data science. I would highly encourage many of you who are thinking of joining some of these technology companies in Silicon Valley to consider a career like that or a curriculum in college like that.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's important that students, especially high school students, get introduced to AI and its potentials and what it's capable of, because then later on in the future, you're more prepared and, like better with AI and coding and things like that. My next question is, how do you see technology changing the way retailers operate and also the way consumers shop?
So I think I gave you a couple of examples. So for example, right now, let's talk about supply chain, right, in retail. AI can help you do more accurate forecasting in order to make sure that you have the right products at the right place at the right time. Computer vision technology, which is cameras, is going to notify your employees when you're low in stock on your store shelves. Because if a customer comes in, it's looking for something and you don't have it, they're going to go to your competitor and buy it there because they want it right there. And also computer vision technology can prevent theft, right? So back to supply chain, not only AI can help you with forecast accuracy, making sure that you have the right products in the right store at the right time, but also being able to be much more efficient in their distribution centers. Distribution centers is where the consumer packaged good companies deliver their products and then retailers take it from those distribution centers and deliver it to their stores or deliver it directly to a customer, right? And so again, having efficiencies there, for example, mundane jobs like moving huge boxes, right? And can be done now by AMRs, which is automated moving vehicles or robots, right? That carry very large packages, and pick and pack robots that can actually pack the orders much more accurately and efficiently. And so all of these are powered by AI that makes operations in the supply chain much more efficient.
Great, that was amazing insight. Thank you for that. My next question is, can you describe in simple terms what AI is and how it impacts businesses and our lives?
Yeah, so AI is a collection of algorithms or models that you train with massive amount of data, right? So if you're building an AI solution for computer vision, you train it with a lot of images from cameras in your stores, right? If you're trying to train a generative AI solution that answers questions, you train it with the type of answers that you want it to give, right? And so that training basically makes the AI algorithm smart. As a result of that, it's able to analyze a massive amount of data and provide recommendations. We call that inference. And so that recommendation is it's recommending a product to your customers. It is, recommending when you have to repair a machinery in a factory or a distribution centers. Like it's predicting that something's going to fail and you should do your maintenance now, not just on a regular schedule that says bring your car in every 6 months to do X, Y, and Z. But hey, it's time to do something because your car is starting to act a little weird because the temperature is a little bit higher than normal and so forth. So it's called predictive maintenance, right? So it's basically providing recommendations that helps the human being make better, most informed decisions. So that's really the role of AI is our assistance to help us do our job better. There's a question that I often get, which is, will ChatGPT take my job? And the answer is no, ChatGPT is not going to take your job. But someone using ChatGPT very likely will take your job. Why? Because they're going to be more productive. They're going to be able to make decisions based on a vast amount of data that somebody else would take them weeks to crunch that data. And AI is able to take massive amount of data, crunch it, and actually make recommendations. So that's why it's so important that we not be afraid of AI, but embrace it, learn how to use it.
That's really interesting. And I think it's important because I know a lot of people are scared of AI or the things that it can do. But I think it's important that you pointed out that AI can be used to help people and make life more efficient and easier. So I think that's really important that you brought that up. So thank you.
Sure.
My next question is, with the rapid advancements in AI, what skills do you believe will be most valuable to get into and the most exciting careers in the next few years?
I think we kind of touched upon that, Aisha, a little bit earlier, right? I would just say that, let me actually talk about some interesting things. AI is changing every career. So even if you think you're going to be in marketing or you're going to be creative and create ads for, a company for automotive, well, there's now special AI technology that can in seconds generate hundreds of ads, right? Is that going to replace the ad agencies? Not really, but those ad agencies that are using that kind of AI technology will have an edge over those that don't. So again, what I want to emphasize is don't be scared of technology, and try to take a few classes in high school and definitely in college, and try to learn as much as possible about it. My son is getting a degree in finance, and he's not interested in programming. His mom is an engineer, so why would he become an engineer? But I will tell you now, he, after having done 2 internships in finance, he realizes how important it is, and he's actually taking a Python class in college because he feels that that is going to be very important for his success. So don't be afraid of it, embrace it, learn about it.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So my next question is, what are the top use cases of AI that deliver the most business value in retail, CPG, and QSR? And what types of AI applications have you seen most successful and why?
I think I touched upon some of them, right? We talked about forecasting in supply chain. We talked about automated moving robots and pick and pack robots that deliver efficiencies. There's a lot of AI technology around inventory management. These are the kind of stuffs that cost the retailers a lot of money, and even delivering a couple of percentage points of efficiency really translates into billions of dollars. We helped a very, very large retailer, one that all of us go to and buy lots of stuff. We call them a big box, improve their forecast accuracy by 3 percentage points, from 94% to 97%. Those 3 percentage points eliminated $100 million in fresh product, produce, meats, waste, in terms of having the wrong product at the particular stores and being able to really order the right products at the right time for each of their stores. And that has saved them $100 million a year. So that's kind of a great example of supply chain. I think I talked about theft in the industry that's basically globally around the world is costing retailers $100 billion a year. If you take the collective number of retailers around the world and 1.5% of their revenue being lost to theft, that's $100 billion of loss, right? And for a large, big box, that's at least $500 million a year in revenue that's lost to theft, right? So these are really examples. The new things that I'm excited about is some of these generative AIs, right? So I talked about product advisor. A good product advisor, it's like an incredibly good and smart sales rep that knows your products, knows your customers, and knows how to offer the best personalized recommendation for each of your customers. That's something that large language models of generative AI can do very efficiently, and you can train it with your data. So this is not now the open AI chat GPT that's trained on every data on the internet, but it is actually, there's a lot of large language models available that companies can train with their specific products and data and be able to then put the guardrails around it so that, it doesn't hallucinate, it answers the right questions, it stays away from answering questions you don't want it to answer. It represents your brand, it represents your tone, and that's what we call supervised training, right? You kind of are training that algorithm and say, answer these kind of questions in this kind of a tone. But if you get those kind of questions, just say, I don't have the answer to that, right? That's called guardrails. And you do that by fine tuning the model. You take a model, you train it with your products, and then you use supervised training, which is using people to say, hey, do this, but do less of that, right? And then there's additional technology that enables you to to put those guardrails around it to make sure that it's answering the questions relevant to your products and in the tone of your brand, representing your brand.
Of course. Yeah, I think it's important that you mentioned how much money companies are like getting stripped from them because of theft, because there's a like supply shortage. And that's why I think NVIDIA is so inspiring and interesting, because you guys are helping with that problem. So that's amazing. My next question is, could you speak a little bit about the volunteering work you do mentoring female engineering students at the University of Southern California?
Sure. So one of the things I try to do is obviously, even today, compared to when I was going to college, the percentage of women in technology or some of the engineering heavy companies is still not where it needs to be. 55% of the college graduating students are female, right? But when you look at the executive ranks of many companies, that percentage is not 55%, right? And so I have, in particular, a passion for young women studying engineering. I want to encourage them to do that. I'd like to be their mentors. And so I often go down with our recruiting team to kind of inspire these young ladies that are studying engineering at USC, which is where I went to school. And then usually kind of, to be honest with you, my schedule doesn't permit. I travel a lot. I've got a lot of responsibilities, but I normally get, 2 to 3 female students that I'm happy to mentor, kind of meet with, twice a quarter. So about 4 to 6 times a year, and be able to give them some guidance about, what to focus on, what are some interesting career paths and so forth. And honestly, usually I don't pick them, they pick me. And it's not like somebody coming to me and say, would you be my mentor? But often what I notice is if somebody, I'm speaking at an event at USC, and who are the students that stay behind and really want to talk to me and then really try to understand, their interests. And it's not about, can you get me an internship job at NVIDIA? That's not how I select somebody to mentor, but it's more somebody who wants to learn, who asks specific questions. What is it like to have a role like this at NVIDIA? What do I have to study? What courses should I emphasize on, and those kind of things? It's like a curious mind that wants to learn. And that's who I feel passionate about mentoring.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so my last question for you is, what are NVIDIA's perspectives on some of the concerns around AI, and how do you mitigate that?
Yeah, I think the key thing about AI is when it starts doing bad things, right? And AI algorithms are trained by people that give it data and train it. And so for all the 95% of good people that are around the world, there's a few percentage of bad people around there, right? And I think it's our responsibility to, if we identify, something that is happening, whether it's people trying to use AI for phishing, to steal your credit cards, or whether people are using AI to pretend to be somebody else and steal money from others, that we report those. These are crimes that need to be reported. But at the same time, we at NVIDIA, our role is to really put the guardrails and help companies, leverage those guardrails and provide security so that these AI solutions, many of which are installed at the edge, and the edge means in a distribution center, in a store, that it cannot be hacked, and that it has those guardrails that I talked about earlier so that it behaves in the way that we want it to behave. and it doesn't start hallucinating or being offensive and giving answers that we don't want it to give. So it's all around guardrails and security of those algorithms.
Perfect. That was amazing insight. Okay, so that brings us to the conclusion of this episode. The world of AI in retail, CPG, and QSR is truly interesting to follow. From supercharging stores to providing grocery recommendations, AI is weaving its magic. Ms. Martin gave us the inside scoop on advances and challenges in AI in retail. Let's remember that it is not just the robot in the spotlight, but partnerships with AI that requires a sense of responsibility. Thank you, Ms. Martin, for enlightening us about career considerations at the intersection of retail and AI, as well as AI-powered future of shopping and snacking. Before we sign off, Ms. Martin, do you have any final thoughts for our audience or extra advice that you would like to give students that are interested about this career choice?
Yeah, I would just say, obviously, not all of us are going to work for technology companies, right? Not all of us are going to study engineering, and that's perfectly fine. The world needs, a little bit of everything, right? So I think the most important thing is find your passion, find what you're, excited about, and follow your heart first and foremost, because you got to love what you do. Right? And that's the most important thing. But along the way, be tuned into the changes that are happening in the world and make sure that, you try new things and you're open to how technology can change our lives in whatever it is that we do, whether it's music. One of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard has been composed by AI. And Olivia can provide that particular video. It's called, you can actually find it on YouTube. It's called I Am AI from NVIDIA. The music in that particular video is composed by AI. So embrace the changes that technology is bringing to our lives, but follow your heart, follow what you're good at. If you're great at painting or marketing or journalism and writing, then go ahead and follow your heart. Don't worry about those jobs not being there. They will be there, but many of these roles are going to be augmented by technology and AI. So make sure that you're smart enough to learn about it as opposed to staying away from it or fearing it.
That was amazing advice, and I will definitely take that music recommendation and listen to that. But thank you so much, Ms. Martin, for joining me today. That wraps up this episode of AI Trends with Ash. I will see you all in my next episode. Until then, stay curious. Bye.
Thank you, Aish. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.